Well, hello everyone. My name is Ricky Grove, and this is And Now for Something Completely Machinima podcast for May 2023. I'm here with my good friends Tracy Harwood, Damien Valentine, and the inimitable Phil Rice.
Hello.
Hello, Phil.
Hey there.
Um, we're looking at my pick this month, but before we start, I have just a brief bit of news that I want to mention. Um, we several months ago we reviewed a machinima that was based on a sort of myth or folklore, urban legend of the back rooms, which is this
Mm.
sort of space that you go into that is filled with endless, badly fluorescently lit back rooms of a business type place. Well, I there's a fellow I know. His name is Daniel Grove, no relation to me, who has made several kit bashes for Blender. Now, Kitbash is a collection of assets that you can put together in a variety of ways. It just makes your job so much easier when you're making things. And he's done science fiction, he's done VFX. Well, he did a kit bash for back rooms for Blender. Now, the cool thing about that is if you could take these assets, and Blender is so good now, you can use the kit bash to create a scene or a set and then export it to an Unreal format and then bring it into Unreal and then shoot your film inside of that environment that he makes. It's a donation for the kit bash. You could pay $1, you could pay $100, whatever you think it's worth it. We'll put a link to his offering for the Backrooms Kit Bash in our show notes. But he is really good, and I've actually contacted him several times about the kit bashes. And he's very friendly. He works professionally as a 3D designer and a creator, and he does this sort of in his spare time to make a little spare change. But they're so good. They're really, really good. So we'll put the link in it, and I hope if you're interested in that backroom series, it's a great way to get, and you want to work in Unreal, it's a great way to get assets pretty cheap to be able to start working in that. So that's it. I want to talk about my pick today, which is a film called Machinima by Ally Kustera. Now, Ally Kustera is a recent high school graduate. She's going to be going into college, specializing in sort of digital art. She graduated from Huntington High. She is at UT Austin, specializing in simulation sciences in their arts and technologies program. I'm not sure what simulation sciences is, but then again, I graduated in 1993, so I'm woefully out of date here. But anyway, she's a young woman. She's very skilled. She's very interested, and I'm so glad she did this. I don't know whether this film was created inside of one particular video game or one or two video games. But in any event, I chose the film because it produced a strong feeling in me. And I can't define exactly what the feeling is. It's sort of a mixture of, I don't know, empathy and some pain and admiration and determination. Um, what she's done is she's cut together pieces of women in these films in various roles, some in fighting roles, and there are some gory moments in the film, just to warn you or excite you, depending upon your point of view. Um, and so she's cut these in such an artful way. She's making a statement about women and their pain and their lack of connectedness at times, and their willingness, their determination to fight uh, to achieve their goals. I, it's not in the quality of J.P. Fair, um, but the editing is fairly smart. The important thing are the scenes that she chose. She used film editing to be able to juxtapose things so you could draw connections between the two. And some of the scenes are quite startling. And I don't think I've seen this done before, where they just go through the either the cut scenes or actual scenes from the game itself. I think mostly cut scenes, and then put it together to tell another story, a secondary story. I was really impressed with it, and I liked it a lot. What are your impressions, guys?
Yeah, I'll start if you like.
Sure.
To me, it felt like a bit of an advert for a cross between Tomb Raider 2, the film, and the next game in the series. I think it's been shot in the Tomb Raider game, the Rise of the Tomb Raider, I think.
An
And it's been,
advertisement?
mm,
You said an advert.
yes, it came over like as an advert for the Tomb Raider game because of that emphasis on the character. And it's set to the song Mad World, the version by, is it Two-Way,
Well, that's right.
Tommy
That's right. Yeah.
Tommy Prophet and Flurry. Um, and I think the footage is from the Rise of the Tomb Raider game, um, which, as I understand it, is due to come out, I don't know, imminently. I couldn't find any good information on that, but this year, next year, the next sort of game in the series. I I kind of, I don't know, I kind of felt that this was, um, yeah, it was more about a statement around the role of women using that kind of game, and I don't know whether it's being, I don't know whether it was just cut scenes or whether it was just um advertised content or actual gameplay. I don't know. But it to me it just had that kind of advertising quality. I actually looked the character up because I thought what I was seeing was the same character in different roles and different ages. And I thought, well, maybe there is something that actually connects these characters. And sure enough, that's what I found. Rise of the Tomb Raider game. Um, I think why it intrigued me, or what how it might be relevant, and why it might be quite a nice, timely uh, experiment for Ally Kustera, the creator, is because it's my understanding that the next version of the game is also roughly being timed to be released with the film. And it made me sort of think, is what we're seeing here some attempt to do what the Matrix did, which is, a couple of years ago, where their sort of city simulation was released pretty much around the same time as the latest Matrix film was released. And therefore what you've got is kind of people playing with the content, creating stuff with the content and tying it into the film franchise as well. I don't know. So that's kind of what I immediately connected to, I think. But it just had that sort of trailery type feel to me. Which I've no evidence that that's what it is, or that's what it came from, but it just kind of felt like that. Um, it definitely conveyed the sense of a woman being in the driving seat, a typical kind of Lara Croft type character, and the sort of the transitions between the different ages, the different spaces, the different times. I thought that worked really well with the song and the lyrics and the timing and the editing to the lyrics of the song. I thought were really well done. I thought that the action scenes were kind of perfectly timed in many ways. So to me the pacing was great. The animation with the game lyrics interjected too, I thought was really well done. Um, I couldn't get a sense of what else this creator was working on, but I definitely got I really wanted to see more by her, to sort of see how she develops her creative work. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Ricky.
Sure.
So I think I had a similar reaction to Ricky, is I got that same kind of feel from it. There are actually at least 5 games that the characters and footage are from.
Oh.
You've got Tomb Raider, obviously, which Tracy you've covered because you've got the rebooted Lara Croft character in it. But there's also Horizon Zero Dawn, which is like it's a post-apocalyptic game set in the future after these robots have taken over the world and humanity's kind of reverted back to a very primitive state. You've got what I don't know which one of the series it is, but one of the Uncharted games.
Hmm.
I don't know those games that well, but I recognize the characters from friends who have been a bit more excited for the games than I have been. They got The Last of Us, which I did
Ah.
recognize. You got Ellie in it as obviously the female character in it that's goes through a very traumatic experience throughout the story. And I think there's at least the last one. I think is one of the Assassin's Creed games, but I don't know which one because there's so many at this point. And there may be more games in there that I just didn't catch on to. But yeah, I got the same feel for it as you did. That Ally's making this film that obviously she feels this is a message that she wanted to put out, and she's obviously thinking about it and decided to turn to Machinima to, explore this theme. And she put together this video, which I thought she did really well. And like Tracy, I'd like to see more of her work. And Ricky, you said that she's off to the college or university?
At Austin, in Texas.
Yeah. So I think she's going to learn and do some great things there. And
I think so too.
I hope she will share those on her channel, because I'd very much like to see what she does.
Yeah, there are other films I could have chosen that were better crafted and technical, but we oftentimes don't encourage younger machinima filmmakers enough, I think, in general. And with the community fragmented, I think this is a good time to do it. And her idea to take these multiple games and take scenes that women are in various states of emotional distress, and then put them together in such a way to create a feeling out of it, not necessarily a cogent story. She uses the music to be the story in a way. But that was just very impressive and creative for me. Phil, what did you think?
Sorry, I'm trying to get my throat clear. Okay, so the first Machinima film that I made, which has never been released, was editing together cutscene footage from one of the whatever Final Fantasy game was around in 97, 98. I did it just for myself. There was no way to share it with anyone because YouTube wasn't a thing. It was too big, and I used Nine Inch Nails music, instrumental music, throughout the whole thing. It's like runs like 15 minutes or something. But it was basically, I kind of feel like it was embarked upon with the same purpose, same general purpose that this filmmaker took with this, which was, feeling a personal connection with not a specific story, but a feeling, like you so aptly put at the beginning, Ricky, when you started talking about it. Of this has a poetry to it. It does not, more so than narrative. There's narrative threads here, but that's not important. It is this feeling that lifts out of it. So I felt an instant personal connection to this because it just reminded me of that and what I was feeling at the time that I did that and what I was intending. I don't want to project too much of that onto her, but I definitely didn't get any kind of an advertisement sense off of it. Now, I could tell that some of the animation, some of the footage is so good, it must come from cutscenes or maybe even advertisements for those games. But I didn't get as far as the finished product here. I didn't get an advertising sense off it at all. It was very much more of a personal one. I knew that there was multiple. I'm so glad you were able to name the video games, Damien, because I knew there was multiple games involved.
Yeah.
I did recognize Lara Croft from one outfit. And I thought, oh, that looks kind of like, my last time I played Lara Croft was on PlayStation 1. It looks like a Minecraft character. So, but I get it. The general, but the other characters I didn't recognize, even though Last of Us, I've never played the game. I've only seen the show. Wonderful show, by the way. And those other games I've just never played and haven't followed. So I didn't recognize any of them. Maybe that was a benefit watching this, is that I knew they were from video games, and I knew that these were strong female characters. And there is a sense of an arc that, they're all, we're introduced to them, not in a very ordered way, which again is fine. They all encounter struggle or hardship, and then there's this real lifting sense at the end of the she in this movie, which is multiple characters, is ultimately going to triumph. It's not going to be easy, but I mean, it's feminism, the feminism as it should be, divorced of all the stupid politicians' views on it and whatnot. Just this sense of these are women doing things that traditionally, in Hollywood in particular, traditionally only men did those things. Obviously that's changed in the last 15 years or so in 15, 20 years in cinema. There's a lot more female heroines, but these are strong, active, stressful, physically and mentally stressful things that are being embarked upon by women who can clearly handle it. It's a triumphant message, I think. I think it's a celebration of women, without any of when you get to, don't get me started on feminism in terms of what politics, particularly in the US, has turned it into. It's like a greeting card of its former self.
I know.
This sense of capability, competence, strength,
Determination,
resilience. It's just a celebration of those qualities. And I just loved this. I just absolutely loved it. And then to find out it's an 18-year-old or a high school graduate that did this, it's like, man, I wish I had half the emotional depth that this person has when I was that age. I was an idiot when I was 18.
That makes
I was still trying to make fart sounds with my armpit. I mean, what? This is just beautiful. Just beautiful. And yeah, I was really, really moved by it. And I wasn't expecting to be. I mean, the title didn't exactly set me off on any kind of path. It's just like, oh, Machinima, that's the title. But oh my goodness, it took a few seconds. It's like, whoa. And I watched it multiple times. Like you mentioned, Ricky, there was a sense of trying to make sense of it in a way, trying to fully digest it. And I still can't pin it fully down, but that's the emotions that came off it for me. Yeah. Oh, I agree. This is ambiguity that's it's not even right to use that word for it, because it's not about specificity. It's about this is in the realm of feeling, of intuition, of emotion. So I loved it. And maybe it's to my benefit that I think if I had recognized all the games in this, I probably would have been distracted by that because I'm too analytical. So I'd have been thinking of, oh, this footage is from that, this footage is from that. I was completely released from any of that. I didn't have any idea what the hell these games were.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a crap either. It was great. So
I love the fact
I know it doesn't have the sophistication of some of the other films that we've, the one we reviewed last episode, but this is my favorite film of the year.
Yeah,
really and truly, it's just
I'm so glad,
just delightful. And I'm gonna watch it again because I still feel like I still don't fully get it, but I want to.
I love the fact that Machinima can embrace the range of creative possibilities. From J.P. Fair's The Right Stuff, which is as sharp as a laser. Everything is specific and everything in its place.
Right.
To this slightly messy, emotional movie that talks about how women have a right to determine their own fates and their own goals and paths, whether it's painful or fighting or whatever it is. I love the fact that Machinima can allow the umbrella of creators to do what they want.
And Ricky, you mentioned the word messy, but it needs to be to work, because if it was as laser focused as the right stuff, I don't know if the feeling would have come across because it had been so
I,
focused on
I
the
think you're absolutely right.
technical
Yep.
detail
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Yeah. And the perfect, I'm going to set aside all preconceptions and built up ideas I have about using copyrighted music and all the diatribes I've done over the years and whatnot. This was the perfect song for this film.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's just gorgeous, evocative,
Absolutely right.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So
Yep.
pirate away.
I have
Great.
I have to
Great.
make that's quite a statement from you. I have to make a correction. In the beginning of the show, I said that she graduated from Huntington School in California. That's not correct. It's the Huntington High School in New York
Okay.
is where she graduated from. Wherever you go, good luck to you, Ally, and we'll keep an eye out for your work in the future. Because this is a great start, and we hope you continue to make more machinima in this vein because it's very effective. Well, that's it for our show this week. Thank you very much for watching. Next week we'll have another pick. I think it's Phil's pick next week. Phil always has good and very funny picks, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. If you have comments, or Ally, if you happen to hear about this, please contact us at talk@completely.machinima.com with anything you'd like to say. We do welcome your comments. Also, we have show notes that Trace is going to put together with links to the film and everything at completely.machinima.com, our main website. Well, thank you very much for your discussion and your thoughts, Phil, especially you. I'm so glad you enjoyed the film. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.